Hi everyone, welcome to another video. If you're new here, hi, my name is Mel, and on my channel we discuss everything to do with makeup and skincare for the over 50 woman. So I was going through my old videos trying to come up with some different video ideas, and I discovered I have not done a full face L'Oreal video in a couple of years. So I thought that now is the perfect time because they have quite a few newer products. I'm going to say a good majority of these you've seen on my channel. But I did actually have to go out and purchase one product and repurchase another product. I love L'Oreal. I think they're a great drugstore brand. No, this is not being sponsored or anything like that. I just love the brand. If you go back and look over my YouTube channel, I have actually created a bunch of L'Oreal videos. I think that they're one of the few drugstore brands that have, I'm going to say, quite a variety of products, and they just seem to hit all the marks. So let's just jump in and get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is apply a little bit of lip oil. If you're familiar with my channel, you know this is true. I absolutely love the lip oils from L'Oreal. I have quite a few shades. Two of them are designed to be a pH lip oil. So it actually works with your natural pH level of your lips and it changes the color. I know it's kind of old technology, but it's fun. And I think I've picked a bunch of products that are fun for fall. So the shade I'm going to use is Worth It. It's a dark pink. I always like to hydrate my lips before we get started. So one primer that L'Oreal has is by Prime Lab. This is the 24-hour pore minimizer. This does come in 3 other types. I like the pore minimizer one. I believe there's a matte version. There's one for redness and also one for dullness. So that's what it looks like. I usually just apply a little bit around my nose area here to minimize some of those pores, down around my mouth. I find it evens out my skin tone, gives my skin a bit of brightness, and does help my makeup stay on longer through the day. It absorbs really quickly. It doesn't really have any sort of a scent to it, but right now my skin feels very smooth, so we're just going to let that sink in. Now, I was a little bit torn of what product to use on my face today because L'Oreal is one of the brands that I have so many products, foundations and skin tint, that sort of thing, that I use and love and I think are fantastic for mature skin. So what I decided is I'll show you the one that I have had on my channel a lot, and that's the True Match Lumi, the Glotion. This one I use as a primer if I want a really luminous glow to my skin, or I use it as a highlighter. And it's great for that. You can just put it on the little high points of your cheeks. So that's a great product. So I won't show that one today because I have used it lots. The one I am going to use is the Lumi Le Glow Tint. I have it in the shade 120 Neutral. Now this is, I'm going to say, a bit of, I guess, like a hybrid kind of product. So it's an illuminator. You can use it as a foundation. It does come as a pump. I am just going to start with about that much. And we're just going to apply it with a foundation brush. Now keep in mind, this is a skin tint. So you can see how beautiful it looks. It applies nicely, blends in really easily. It is one of the products that I actually do have to apply a little bit of powder because it can look quite glowy. And I know some people probably don't like that. It's not going to give you crazy amounts of coverage. So what I usually do is apply it and then I strategically apply a little bit of a foundation just to cover up any spots that I want extra coverage. It is water-based. Please see on this one side that it has like light reflecting particles on it. So I have only done this side. This side is not done yet. I think my skin looks really radiant when I use it. It gives a nice healthy appearance to the skin. And like I mentioned, you can wear this alone if that's the kind of coverage you want. I think it's perfect for a no makeup look because you can just build it up ever so much. It gives really decent reviews since it launched. But look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? In the summertime, I was just kind of leaving it like this. But I will show you the foundation that is my go-to. They pair together so nicely. I did forget to mention that the only thing that L'Oreal doesn't have is like a color corrector for under my eyes. So I did go in with my NYX The Fix Stick color corrector in the shade Peach. And that if I seem a little bit orange under there, that's why. And that'll help the concealer. Now I'm going to go in with a foundation just to put a little bit on my cheeks. And I think my forehead looks okay. The rest of my face looks okay, but I just want a little bit of extra coverage. So my absolute favorite from L'Oreal is the True Match Nude Foundation. This is actually considered a tinted serum, but I honestly think this is a foundation. I have it in the shade 2-3 Light, and you can see this is so well used. This is definitely a repurchase product. It has a dropper applicator, and all I'm going to do is put some on the back of my hand. Like, I don't need a lot of it. I'm going to take that same foundation brush, and this just blends in effortlessly. It is such a gorgeous product. If you're familiar with my channel, you know that I have had it on so much. It's one of my favorites. So all I'm doing is just applying it right where I have a little bit of hyperpigmentation on my cheek. Apply a little bit here. I usually just kind of stipple it in. It feels very light on the face. My skin feels very hydrated. And I think it is such a fantastic, I call it a foundation, even though it's a skin tinted serum. I think it is amazing for mature skin. It has that 1% hyaluronic acid, which is so good. It does say it's suitable for all skin types, and it does have quite a shade range. It's a wonderful, great product. Then we're going to apply concealer. And this is the L'Oreal True Match Radiant Serum Concealer. I love products that have serum in them because if your skin is similar to mine, I have quite dry skin. So anything that has the added benefit of serums and that sort of thing, I absolutely love. This has 1.5 hyaluronic acid plus caffeine. So that's going to help with the darkness under my eyes as well. I do have this in the shade N3, which is a light medium. I did a whole video on this one as well. I love the doe foot applicator. It almost reminds me of a little foot, and it fits so nicely right in the eye area. And what I usually do is just apply a little bit there, right in the hollow of my eye, under eye area, where it's darkest. This one is so creamy. And then I'm just going to tap it in with the Real Techniques Kitten Paw Concealer Brush. What I find with this concealer is it never looks cakey, even at the end of the night. It doesn't settle all into my fine lines. It gives me enough coverage. Like, this is not a full coverage concealer, but it does do the job of covering up that darkness. Just going to take a little bit up into my eye area, and I usually put a little bit extra. I haven't done my eyeshadow yet or anything like that, so I'm just going to take a little bit where I am darkest, right in this inner part here. And it's one of the few concealers that doesn't crease on me either. I find it just stays true all day. Now I find L'Oreal doesn't have a lot of eyeshadows, but what I do have of theirs is their eyeshadow sticks. And I have 2 shades. One is my go-to. It's called Alluring Rose. It is so gorgeous. Love it. They do come in matte and shimmer. So this is more of a shimmery, whereas this shade is more of a matte, and this is called Brown Bliss. So I am going to apply both of them today. Now, a little trick that I've been doing lately with my eyeshadow sticks, I mean, you can certainly apply it just directly to the eye if you want, but what I've been doing is grabbing just any sort of brush. It doesn't have to be this one in particular, but I've been just grabbing a brush and applying it onto the bristles. So you have a good amount on there. And I find it just applies way better. I have a little bit more control of it. Now this shade in particular, I apply it all over my lid. So like even my mobile lid right up to my brow. Because the shade is not overpowering. It's just very pretty. And I think it looks so nice. Especially if you have mature eyelids, like crepiness or anything like that. I find this just smooths it over. So see how subtle that is? It's like, I think out of all the shades, this is my favorite shade. These are so blendable. and creamy. Like such a great drugstore option because there's some really high priced eyeshadow sticks and I think these are actually better than those ones. Just being honest. They are smudge proof. They don't transfer. So then what I'm going to do is take that same brush and I'm going to take the brown shade. And you don't need as much of this one because this was quite pigmented. And where I'm going to apply that is right on my mobile lid. Almost do like a smoky eye. And some of the other shades are really pretty. I just haven't picked any of the other ones up yet. Now both eyes are done with the eyeshadow and I will clean this up in a little bit once I'm done all my other eye makeup products. So we're going to use the infallible 36-hour L'Oreal Mechanical Gel Liner. This one I do have in the shade Brown Denim. So like I said, it is retractable. Now what I start doing is just applying the liner right close to my lash line. I've gotten out of the habit of applying like a thick liner. I think it just looks more subtle when you just do it really, really close to the lash line. But I will show you the shade. So even though it does look quite dark, I like that because it's a softer look than a black. I find I don't have any smudging with this one. And it does say that it is waterproof. Then I'm going to take that same eyeliner and run it under my lower lash line. And also something I've been doing lately is just getting like a smudger brush and just giving it a little bit more of a softer look. Putting product under your eye just helps define the eye. Now, one of those products that I was mentioning earlier that I needed to go out and purchase is get a replacement for my L'Oreal The Big Deal Mascara. So that's what I did. I went out and grabbed another one because this one, I believe, was about 4 or 5 months old and it was kind of getting a bit dry. That's how I know sometimes that the mascara is getting old. And if you find it's becoming less effective, then you probably need to get a new one. I did pick it up in the same shade as Black Brown. And this mascara needs no introduction. It is a favorite of mine. I did a whole video on this one. I was just blown away how much you can build this up and it does not clump at all. It has amazing volume, gives me some great length, does not clump, does not flake. Just one of the best mascaras. It's easy to remove. I'll stick the thumbnail over here if you wanted to go check out the video I did on it. So I won't go into a lot of detail about it. You guys know I love it. Now I'm going to clean up around the eye area where the eyeshadow came down a little bit far. So I just take that concealer and I'm basically drawing a line. And then I take a really firm brush. This is just an eyeshadow brush, but you can also use like a concealer brush. This one, the Real Technique one, I find is not, it's a little bit too flimsy to create like a sharp line. So I'm just using an eyeshadow brush, just drag it up, just to clean it up a little bit. Because if I leave it like that, it makes my eye look like it's dragging down. We always want to look like we have an uplifting effect, right? So that's why I just clean it up after I'm done all of my eye products. Now the one product from L'Oreal that I actually didn't have was an eyebrow pencil. So I went and picked up the Brow Stylist Definer. I bought one years and years ago, and I'm not sure why I didn't repurchase it. I did pick it up in the shade Light Brunette, so we'll see if that is the right shade for me. The other one looked just way too dark. I think it was Dark Brunette. So it looks like it has one of those really, really fine tip pencils. And how I always judge an eyebrow pencil is how soft the spoolie is. So we'll get to that in a minute. So there's the shade there. I don't know about you guys. Do you find you sometimes have difficulties trying to find the perfect shade for your eyebrows? I find I do. Because what it looks like sometimes on the packaging just is not what the shade is when you're putting it on your face. Okay, I think this is okay. Sometimes it's skewed a little bit by the lights, but I think the shade is okay. It's very pigmented, like it's applying it quite nicely. We'll take the spoolie out. Let's see how soft it is. Yeah, it's pretty soft. I would say there is another eyebrow pencil that I have that maybe is a little bit softer, but it's good. I'm always amazed at the difference between having my eyebrow done and not done. I think it just brings the whole face together, the whole look together. All right, moving on to bronzer. So my tried and true absolute favorite from L'Oreal is the Infallible bronzer. This is the soft matte finish. Again, featured it on my channel so many times. It is one of the few products. You know when I like a product? When I actually hit pan. That is not easy for me to do. I'm sure you can appreciate all the products I try. So for me to hit pan on something, I have to love it. I do like how it is a soft matte finish. It isn't full of glitter and shimmer and all that sort of stuff. I usually just stipple it in. Oh, I forgot to say, I have it in the shade 300, which is a light medium. There is several other shades, but even going like this, it is super soft. I don't know how well this shade is going to show up on camera. It's right there. It does say it is a 24-hour wear. I find when I apply it, it is mistake proof. Like I've never over applied this product. It's very soft and natural. It just makes my skin look like sun-kissed. And with all of my bronzers, I create like a 3. I apply it up on my forehead, and then I bring it down here, and then I also bring it down along my jawline. Now, I primarily use this as a bronzer, but you can get different shades, and if you like contouring, you can use it as a contour. I'd say it's fairly buildable. Oh, and I forgot to also show you, with a lot of the L'Oreal products, like it does have a little mirror. So if you are out and about and you just need to reapply. And then we'll just keep the party rolling with the Infallible products, and we're going to use the Infallible blush, the Fresh Wear blush. Now, one warning about this blush is it is very, very pigmented. You do not need a lot of this. Similar packaging, has the little mirror, very soft. I have this in the shade. This is Fearless Coral. Look at how pretty that is. Very buttery. So I'm just dipping my brush in there very gently. And then I start stippling that in as well. Like, look at that. Oh my goodness. It does have a few other shades. I just thought this one was the prettiest. Just a gorgeous pink. And then if you ever do feel like you've applied too much blush, I just grab a sponge. This is one by Real Techniques. It is a dampened one. You can see how spongy it is. I always forget to mention that they should always be dampened. So you can try and diffuse the shade like that. Or another trick you can do is grab that foundation brush that you used earlier and just go over the area and see how it just kind of lightened it up. But when I say this is pigmented, I am being very, very serious. It's a similar properties as the bronzer, where it is a matte finish and waterproof, transfer proof, all of that. Now, the nice thing is that L'Oreal actually has 2 highlighters, and I was deciding between the 2 of them which one I should wear. Now, they have the Infallible, the highlighter, but it's a powder version. This one I have in the shade, this is Champagne Glow, and I believe there is just one other one. But since I just used this in a previous video, I'm going to go in with a more recent highlighter, which is the Lumi Le Glace. This is the highlighter stick. Not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly. This is Glassy Pearl. I like how it's the convenience of a stick. So I'm not sure how well it's going to show up. It's right here. It looks like glass. And hopefully my camera is not... It seems to be acting up for some reason. I'm not sure why whenever I want to swatch. Sometimes it goes blurry on me. It's a little bit frustrating. So what I usually do with this one, because that's the convenience of a stick, is I just take my finger, and it's so super creamy. So you can see it's just looks like that. And apply it just to the high point of my cheek. But it's nice and subtle, really pretty. You can even put a little bit on your nose. Cupid's bow. So lovely, lovely product. And because it is that really creamy texture, I think it's fantastic for anybody that has mature skin. It almost gives like a glass skin appearance. I know that that was a big thing a few years ago where people like that glass skin appearance. I just like how it's really subtle. Now for the lips, this is where I ran into a little bit of a roadblock because I have quite a few L'Oreal lip products. So I'll show you the ones that I have, and then I was just going to decide on the spot of what I was going to use because I really am undecided. Now I'm going to apply a lip liner. The unfortunate thing is I don't think this lip liner is available anymore, which is really, really disappointing because it was one of my favorite L'Oreal lip liner. It's the shade that was so pretty. It's called Matt's It, and I can't find it anymore. It's right there. Now I haven't been able to find it, and even online I haven't been able to find it, so I'm really disappointed. It's so creamy. Such a nice fall shade. Now I have liquid lipsticks by L'Oreal. I have 2 different shades of the stick lipsticks. And then I have quite a few of the bullet lipsticks, but this one I just grabbed because I thought the shade was gorgeous. It's a lovely nude shade. It's in the shade 800, which says it is fairest nude. I'm going to actually have to start using this hand because I'm running out of swatch space. But you know what? I think I'm going to go with one of these shades here. So one is 113, Le Nude Admirable. I don't know if I'm saying that right. And then 143, which is mauve or mauve. I do use these quite a bit. Oh, that's a pretty, like a dark plum. Oh, that one's pretty. Almost like a wine color. Oh, that's gorgeous. Well, what do I want to do? See, that's what I said. I was actually quite undecided of what I was going to wear. And then there's always these liquid lipstick ones as well. These are gorgeous. These are super long lasting. This is the shade Worth It. That's that one. Tropical Vacay. Now this one I know I've used quite a bit in the summertime, and it's very, very pretty. But it's quite pink. So I don't think I'll wear this one, but you can see how pink it is. I don't know, you guys, I'm so undecided. Okay, so I think I've decided. I'm going to go with the Admirable one. These are so creamy. Oh, so that's so pretty. That is like a fall lip look. Very nice. And then what I usually do is take my lip liner and just make sure that the line looks straight. And then if you want to go the extra mile, I would say take one of the lip oils. So I'm going to use that same shade that I used earlier because it has like a dark dusty rose. And just apply it into the center of your lip. And I think that gives the appearance of plumper lips. L'Oreal does have a setting spray. The only caution I would say with it is it can be a little bit drying if you already have dry skin. That's just a word of caution for you. But it's the L'Oreal Infallible 3-second setting mist. Now a lot of I would say a lot of people say that this is like a hairspray for your face. And I would agree with that. It actually does feel like a hairspray. So I give it a good shake. And it's already drying. Like when it says 3 seconds, it really is 3 seconds. I take my sponge and I dab it in. And then the only thing I don't have from L'Oreal for a powder, so I'm just going to quickly apply some Physicians Formula and tone down some of this glowiness because it is really glowy here. So I really love how the whole look turned out. Let me know if you've tried some of these products. It's always fun creating looks like this from one brand. I will have all the products that I talked about today linked and listed down below and in the description box. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe if you're not already. And as always, I hope everybody has a great week and a great life, and I'll see you all very soon in my next video. Bye!